important. I'm sure there were plenty of racists back then. Why he becomes important is because he becomes the main source of news coming out of Hawaii. The provisional government sets up a meeting between him and the head of the United Press. The United Press is still around today. The United Press and the AP and the Associated Press are the wire services that take stories and put them up on the wire. Newspapers can't have a correspondent in every city in the world. It's too expensive. So these people write stories, put them up on the wire, and then any newspaper can take it and put it in their paper. He was hired as the UP correspondent for Honolulu, for American papers. So all of the news, not all the news, but the vast majority of news coming out of Hawaii about the stuff that's going on is written by him. In a meeting set up by the Executive Council of the Provisional Government, he's hired as a UP correspondent 1894 to 1905. New York, Washington, Boston, Philadelphia, Chicago, Concord, Charleston, lots of other cities around the United States published the stories that he wrote. And he wrote horrific stories about how Hawaiians weren't fit to rule, about how they didn't deserve to even be thought about, and so forth. He wrote columns like, "Annexation is the thing desired. The Republic has developed an ability to govern. Race supremacy. The character of the opposition. The future of Hawaii. Interesting gossip about King Kalakaua's widow." Now the thing that, but it gets worse. The thing that gets me is that, this is a reverend, is that he knew he shouldn't be writing these columns. There's 107 columns he wrote. And if you read them, it's really sickening. And he knew he shouldn't be writing them as a minister, so he wrote under a pseudonym. He chose a fake name. And so, in a series of over 100 columns, the Rev Sereno Bishop updated an American audience to the affairs in Hawaii as the UP correspondent, Kamehameha. He used the name Kamehameha to write these columns. And it wasn't that he was trying to fool anybody. Kamehameha had been dead for a century. He was, in my opinion, he was using that name as a way to tell Hawaiians, I'll use the most sacred name you have to say that you're not fit to rule, that you're not fit to vote, and so forth. That's what the Reverend Sereno Bishop was doing. He wrote a column, so when we talk about America and Hawaii and so forth, we need to be careful not to generalize. I did an article a few years ago, an academic article about collegiate debates over annexation. It was fascinating. Harvard and Yale, Columbia, Georgetown, and the first college debate on the west coast of the United States was Stanford, which had just been founded, against the UC schools. And all these debates were about whether or not we should annex Hawaii. 1893, 1894. And in every case, the no side won. And some of it was racist. Some of it was they were saying, well, we don't want 100,000 brown people in our country. But some of it was also about justice. They argued, well, wait a minute, we're about of the people, by the people, and for the people. And both sides agree, if a vote was taken in Hawaii, it'd be overwhelmingly against. So how can we argue that we could take a country that doesn't want to be taken? And it was a good argument. So Sereno writes against that argument. And he writes a column called The Hawaiian Vote. And he says, this takes us back to the point first made, that the people of Hawaii, in quotes, must be a party to the contract for annexation. Here is the very question to be settled. Who are the real people of Hawaii? Are they the decadent and dwindling race of Aboriginal Hawaiians who still linger in the land, a feeble and inefficient people pushed aside from active life by the swarming Asiatics and the vigorous whites? Or are they not rather the fresh, active, brainy white race, who have by their skill and energy created the great wealth and thriving commerce of the islands, who own what they have thus created, and who are manifestly the heirs of the future of Hawaii, rather than the weak native race? Whites must govern. By reason of their superior capacity and force, the whites of Hawaii have become the real people of Hawaii. Signed, Kamehameha. Sereno Bishop is arguing that Hawaiians aren't even Hawaiian anymore. That if you want Hawaiians to vote for annexation, then us missionaries and ship captains and so forth will vote. But he's got to say something, because he doesn't, there's no argument against it. So that type of argument becomes very pervasive. Yes, America's about democracy. Yes, America's about justice, but these aren't really people. Yeah? And the only way you can say that is if you cover up that vast storehouse of achievement from the middle of the 19th century.